lot, but it's not. The national anthem again. Oh, Mark, just stay with me. This is very, very important to me. But also it is a bigger cultural issue, as I discussed last Sunday with the great Shelby Steele. This is the situation. The Dolphins were going to put the hammer down on one or more players who said, look, we're going to the game. We're going to stand out there in the national anthem. We're going to knee. Even though the purported NFL policy said, no, if you're going to protest, stay in the locker room. No, I'm not staying in the locker room. I'm protesting what's going on in this country, the way minorities are treated and what cops do to them and the unequal judge. No, I'm protesting. So now the NFL told the Miami Dolphins, no, you're not going to impose that rule. As a matter of fact, we need to negotiate with the union and see if we can't work this out. Is the union not patriotic? Is the NFL Players Union not patriotic? Apparently not. What's to negotiate? Get off your ass and stand up. Treat your country and the people who fought with it with respect. That's what we expect, we fans. But this is a phony protest. This is a pathetic joke. To see these men who have benefited from a free society, these men who earn more than virtually anybody else in this country, with the exception of a small percentage of individuals. These men who are treated like conquering heroes. People want to buy their jerseys with their names and numbers on it. Treated like celebrities for playing football. Living like no other people have ever lived before them and no other people lived currently on the face of the earth. They're protesting, you see, because America's unjust, because America hates its minorities. So I thought it would be good to circle back, and I think this is very, very important, and listen to what Shelby Steele said. Shelby Steele is an African-American. He's at the Hoover Institute. I really admire the man. He was on my program, as I said, on Sunday. And he has some thoughts about this. Please listen very carefully. Cut 11, go. You wrote a few months ago in the Wall Street Journal on this so-called protest with the football players taking the knee during the national anthem. Mm-hmm. Among other things, you said, it's not surprising then that these black football players would don the mantle of protest, because you say protest is something that black Americans have had to do for civil rights. You look at Martin Luther King, you look at Jackie Robinson in sports and so forth and so on. And you say the surprise was that it didn't work this time. Yeah. They had misread the historic moment. They were not speaking truth to power. Rather, they were figures of pathos, mindlessly loyal to a black identity that had run its course. So you say in the article, look, protest is a good thing. Protest sometimes is necessary, right, to get the vote, to get equal rights, to draw the attention of society and so forth. But this one fell on deaf ears. Yes. Explain.
Well, protest is central to the evolution of black American culture. It was protest that really finally won our freedom for us. Beyond that, it's always interesting to note that it expanded the idea of democracy. Democracy had all of the theory, all of the thinking, all of it before had never dealt with the clash between race and racism and democracy. Well, it was the civil rights movement. It was Martin Luther King who said, you have to go beyond race even, that democracy is universal. So that's a big part of the black American identity, and it's sort of seen as the test of your authenticity as a black. And yet this protest in the NFL made the point that this was kind of fruitless at this point. And I think the central issue behind what you're talking about is the fact that the oppression of black Americans is over with.
It's over with.
It's over with. I grew up, I mean, it was, we never thought there'd be an end to oppression. I remember being a teenager, I never thought that I'd live in a society that wasn't segregated. It happened. Now, are there exceptions? Yes, there are a few here and there. Will racism ever completely go away? No. It's a part of as I say in that article, it's endemic to the human condition, just as stupidity is endemic to the human condition. And so we'll always have to be on guard about it. But we're at a point where the old-fashioned method of protest is obsolete. We need a lot of things, but we don't need that anymore. We're at a point now where we are a free people and can pursue our lives as we would like to.
Shelby Steele. Brilliant, brilliant man. And this is why this protest is a joke. And most of the fans know it's a joke. Despite the efforts by many sportscasters to keep propping this up as a serious event, it's not a serious event. It's a clown show. It's disruptive. It undermines the sport. This is not a civil rights movement. This isn't about social justice or equality or anything else. You know, later in the interview, Shelby Steele says, we're free. We're free. We're not oppressed anymore. Go be a free people. Be a free individual. Be a free individual. Now, ironically, these men who are protesting are free individuals. But you see, we're protesting inequality. There will always be inequality. Social justice. Well, what does that mean? They don't even know what they're protesting. It's a spectacle. An unwanted spectacle.